Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and as promised, I finally completed my deck, and I am going to share it with you guys. Now, this deck really early on, we're talking the first like 3 days of the standard 2021 queue, where you only have the post-rotation sets to build with, and of course not counting Zendikar Rising. I absolutely dominated. It was disgusting. If you saw that live stream that I did, I think I won like 7 in a row or something at the beginning. It was ridiculous. Now people have had a chance to build different unique decks. Just kidding, they all copied them off the internet, and there's only 3 decks that you'll ever go up against, all of which really merit a ban. So I'm going to build the perfect anti-deck to those in the meantime, because I was winning so much, it took 1.5 days to rank up to Diamond League from Platinum. Yeah. But now that I'm in Diamond, and now that people are, putting together some really broken stuff, and by putting together, I mean copying and pasting from the internet, this is only an okay deck. I'm probably winning 60% now, which is still, Wizards would consider that horribly broken, just saying. But I think this is going to continue to diminish into just maybe like a 50-50 standard tier 1 as good as anything else deck. So it might not be as impressive as it was day 1, but still good. Still very good. Always will be. I mean, mono white, come on. Life gain, love it. So we got Speaker of the Heavens. I wanted to find a way to put more than one of him in there. Because him generating angels is a fantastic win con, and not many people can deal with air. And then if you can give her lifelink multiple different ways, you're just going to win. So it really should be 2, but it was just killing me to get this to 60. Now that said, I think I'm only running 23 lands because 24 just simply do not fit. So if I'm just going to say, well, 23 versus 24, the shuffler, the opening hand prioritization subroutine that they run, assuming it's turned on for this queue, will prioritize a 2-land keep over a 3-land keep. If you're not familiar, they will draw 2 opening hands and get rid of the one that they think is worse. They do that for like all competitive ranked play other than, I guess, draft and certain tournaments. They were kind of vague about it. But yeah, they admitted it. That's not some conspiracy theory. They said this is how it works. When people are like, why do I rarely get 0 landers or 1 landers? I feel like it should happen once in a while. Are you guys assisting it? And it turns out, yeah, the human notion that this is different than paper was 100% spot on. And if you played 1,000 games of paper and then 10,000 on Arena like I have, yeah. And okay, according to what they emailed out, I've played about 5,000 matches, but what's the difference? So we do have Swallow Hole because, I wish everything could be Banishing Light, but it can't. There's really no good Exilers. Since everybody's playing minimal artifacts, but definitely enchantments, you could maybe get away with Revoke. But the fact that you can't get rid of a creature with it is a death sentence. So I'd prefer Swallow Hole. Plus, you put a counter on the creature that you use to get rid of it. The problem is you have to tap something. But with Castle Ardenvale, you're going to have stupid dummy 1/1s out there and cards you really don't need that aren't relevant. Just like throwaway cards that you weren't going to block with anyway. Or a big, creature that you weren't going to block with anyway. And then the biggest threat is gone, and you can make up for it with life gain. So it works. It is just extremely frustrating. Whoops, new feature, by the way. When they are running a creature with vigilance. It is never going to tap. I hate that. So if you're starting to get triggered by that, instead of Swallow Hole, you could probably put in Pacification, but you don't get the +1, and they're both sorcery speed, whatever. It's practically a toss-up, but it does technically cost double the mana, and this is a pretty like 1, 2, 3 deck where you're going to be dropping stuff for 1, 2, and 3 and not have anything to spare until super late game. So then I did trim it to 3 Shadowspears just to get it to 60. I mean, it should be 4, but what am I going to do? Take out Hallowed Priest, take out Daxos? No, I'm not going to do that. This thing's ridiculous. I've seen everybody running it. It honestly merits a ban. You can't just give every color and every deck and every strategy lifelink and trample. You can't do that. It's the biggest color pie break I've ever seen in the history of the game. And I've seen a white counterspell called Mana Tithe. So then we got Daxos. He's cool. Him and Impassioned kind of do the same thing. He does death triggers though too, and then he ups your devotion. So cool. But I still left it at 3 and 3 because he's legendary. 2, he's a little bit better. But then 3, I didn't want to go 4-2 because he's legendary. So then we got Hallowed Priest. This is a Johnny's Pride mate right here. It's literally the same card, but 1 smaller. And look at that set symbol. Yeah, this isn't a real card. In fact, let me look this up on the Gatherer. I'm curious. Yes, this card right here, this standard legal card in this version of the standard queue does not exist. Video to come on that. So then we got Impassioned Orator. It's just, ETB 1 life. By the way, that's what Daxos does, ETB and death 1 life. Then we got Banishing Light, gets rid of anything for 3. I mean, this is an amazing card. Now, this one is not permanent. This one is, because it's just gone. But also, this one exiles, not destroys. Pretty good, but then, pacifism leaves it there, and then you get persistent devotion. So it really is a toss-up between those two. I might experiment with it. Then I put in 1 Basri Ket because he's pretty good. That -2 can be lethal on the ETBs if you have a life gain trigger. And obviously I maxed out the life gain triggers with 4 of those and, as much as I could, 4 Heliods. But it's nowhere near as good as it was pre-rotation, obviously. But still good. Still very, very good. I mean, the whole format was kind of powered down quite a bit from standard. It's a bit of an understatement. But, yeah, Basri's cool. I mean, +1/+1, indestructible. You put it on a lifelinker and just go. A lot of times I'll have like a 7/7 with lifelink and a Shadowspear on them, and they've just got a line of 3/3s or a line of 2/2s. And I know they're going to triple block. I know they might even quad block. They may even block and boosted. Who knows? So to be able to just not sit there and stare at each other with 2 lines of creatures and do nothing, Basri is really nice. I started with like 3 of him in the deck, and then I thought, well, yeah, he is a 3-drop for 3. He's double devotion. He's pretty good. But if you -2 it, you're wide open. You just kiss him goodbye. You spent 3 on a spell, basically a throwaway instant. But then if you +1 him, I mean, your best guard probably just swung, so he just tends to die too quick. That -6 is a death sentence, obviously, but you're not going to get there. And this deck doesn't have the protection to go wide enough to stop him from getting swarmed or trampled past. That's really big right now in the format. So then we got Heliod, obviously. We give anything lifelink and then put a counter on with, this guy should be banned. He's ridiculous. Then we got Light of Promise. It's just discount Soul Bond. It literally is Soul Bond for 1 less mana. They shouldn't have done that. That said, I mean, with the amount of removal, I wouldn't say it's ban-worthy. I would say that they shouldn't have done this, but I wouldn't call it ban-worthy. So yeah, whenever you gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. This is like, as soon as it hits a creature, if they don't remove it within a couple turns, they're dead. But it's a couple turns. It's not instant unless you can gain life by dropping it on a Radiant Fountain or something. Even though it's not going to be very much. But if you put this on a 7/7 that is lifelink, it hits anything 1 time. It's now a 14/14. I mean, you can't stop this card. It's ridiculous. You have to remove it. Now, 1 removal spell or 1 force fight or 1 early whatever bounce flicker, this is gone. So I did actually limit it to only 3. Then we got Splendor Mare. So this, you can put a lifelink counter on a different creature, like some, giant souped-up creature that wouldn't normally have it, and then you wouldn't have to keep paying for Heliod. You get to draw a card because it's cycling. Otherwise, you have a 3/3 lifelinker for 3. It's just nice. By the way, did anybody notice that his face in the art is just unusual? It looks like really bad taxidermy. Anyway, then we got Lurrus. I mean, he can bring some stuff back. It's only 2 or less, which is, this. Literally just this, not counting Swallow Hold, and I don't know, can he do Shadowspear? Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, it's any permanent. Cool. Well, as if they'd ever blow that up. But it's really just, okay, maybe I'll bring something back, a Daxos or a Hallowed Priest or an Impassioned Orator. Those are very important cards, and people like to target them. They like to die earlier. You may be forced to chump with them. But also he's just, a 3/2 lifelinker for 3. Not the best card, but whatever. I threw 1 in. And then we got Crystalline Giant. I thought about cutting him, but he's just too funny. He's too good. As soon as you get first strike death touch, they're dead. There's nothing they can do. They can't even swing at you anymore for basically the rest of the game, unless they could overflow it. And eventually he's going to have Menace, Lifelink, Double Strike, Flying, or whatever. No, he can't get Double Strike. But if you strap a spear to him, it's pretty nuts. This is a take it or leave it card. I might eventually cut it, but it's just so funny. But it's open to artifact destruction, and I don't know. It's just so good. It's so good. And this deck is like colorless overpowered card, colorless overpowered card, colorless overpowered card. It's just any deck could run any of these, and they're all like devastatingly powerful. That's pretty much what's wrong with the format right now, is everybody has access to this crap. And I've seen a lot of people play stuff like this, so don't forget to consider it in whatever deck you're building. Then we got Mangara. I've honestly thought about dropping him, but I have next to no draw in this entire deck. And if they're swinging against a 2/4, by the time you have enough to drop him in, you're probably going to lose anyway, which is when you would want cards. But yeah, basically, it's whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you or a planeswalker, draw a card, which is nice. And then whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. That happens shockingly not very often in this format, and if it is, it's probably some cascading, draw equals mill pile of garbage. So yeah, he has lifelink himself, it's only 2, it's like whatever. I might drop him, but it's just so hard to do when he can block a 3/3. He's a source of life gain, you can still drop counters on him and just dominate. Oh, it's so hard, but 4 is up there. So I only put in 1 for sure because he's legendary. I definitely don't want 2 of them. Then we put 1 Baneslayer Angel. It's just too good. I mean, you could cut this too, but it's like anytime I bring it out, they just blow it up. It's just that simple. They see this and they're like, okay, that is under any circumstance worthy of burning a removal on. If they don't, they're going to get absolutely slapped in the air. But the fact that you can go air with now 2 different angel sources, okay, I mean, it's worth probably putting 1 in. You gotta have some high end. I mean, flying first strike and lifelink, even just first strike and lifelink, is a death sentence. And then demons and dragons protection, cool, completely and utterly irrelevant. It'll never come up. Then we got Stonecoil Serpent. I mean, pro multi, cool. Almost nobody's playing multi in a format that has 4 sets and almost no fixing. But if they are, I mean, a lot of people are playing mono, but a lot of people are playing multi without cards that are multi. The only multi-heavy one I've really seen is probably black-white. Not many people are playing that. So the fact that, okay, you got 5 mana, you can drop this in, cool. It also has reach, it also has trample. That's amazing because it's another source of trample to make up for Shadowspear. Not that I'd be shy about putting the spear on him. But I don't know. Without having any ramp or any draw whatsoever, this tends to come in for 3 or 4 and just be like, blah, whatever. But, I mean, still reach and still trample. I mean, I did cut it to 2, let's put it that way, but it doesn't do anything to support the deck. It just is a really good creature, period. So I think 2 is the right number for that. Then we got 4 Castle Ardenvales because creating 1/1 chump blockers is insanely important. If it wasn't for trample being so prevalent in multiple strategies, this would just be like the dominant card in the deck because they'd never be able to get through. They'd never be able to do a profitable swing because you would just chump everything and then life gain on the rest for some big defensive interceptors. Then we got Idyllic Grange. I mean, 3 or more planes, you probably don't have it. I only put in 2. Feel free to put in 0. I mean, a 1/1 counter is a 1/1 counter. Everybody likes it. It could be the difference between swinging or not. But I don't know. There's only 10 planes that I did Scoured Barrens and Temples, so you're probably, and this doesn't count as a planes. So you're probably not going to have 3 planes. I'm just throwing that out there. In fact, I'm sick of this thing coming in tapped. You know what? Let's do 1. I'm not going to go 0, but I'm going to go 1. And then we got a bunch of planes. We got a lifeland because it's funny to me. I don't like slow mana in like a 1, 2, 3 super important, like I need to drop on 1, on 2, and on 3 as soon as it hits. I don't like stuff coming in tapped. But that said, it's free life that they can't stop. So, hey, why not? I threw in 2. Feel free to throw in 1. Feel free to throw in 0. Then I did do 1 temple just for the scry. I mean, why not? You can use it to cast Lurrus, I guess, with the black, but you don't need it in any way, shape, or form. I just thought it was funny. Then 4 Radiant Fountains, because, I mean, that's my favorite card. Was it wise to put in 4 in a mono white where there's some double white? Probably not. But it doesn't come up very much, and gaining 2 life is actually pretty significant. Like, both defensively, buy yourself time, and as a trigger, and as a... I'll just keep calling it Sunbond trigger. Whatever the new Sunbond, Light of Promise, Light of Sunbond Promise. Okay, whatever. So yeah, you immediately get 2 counters, and then maybe another trigger on top of it. So that's the deck. It's real simple. Let's just jump to some gameplay. What were they thinking? Oh, they're fucking crazy. Yeah, this. We're doubling down. If he has like a kill spell, well, let's just say he better use it right about now. Nope. Anios is with me. I'll sing the whole damn fun song. And then bust out some Ren and Stimpy karaoke. You know, one of these days, though, and I'm probably going to do this when... oh, wait, all the spoilers are out for... Wait, no, some of the spoilers... So, none of the spoilers, all of the leaks are out for Zendikar Rising, but when they do the spoilers, I'm going to do a live stream where we Photoshop some of the cards, and I'm just going to take your guys' like suggestions, and it's going to be really stupid. Yeah, I'd leave too. It's a 30-30 with double boost. I mean, even if he could somehow block it or whatever, it had trample. This deck is just a crime. It's disgusting. It makes me sick just looking at it. Okay, so he's got a counterspell. I'm just going to burn this. I mean, f*** it. He can counterspell. I don't give a shit. Look at this shuffler. Look at this f***ing joke. Oh, he doesn't give a shit, does he? Alright. What do we got? Lifelink. Come on. Lifelink. Hexproof. Hexproof! Yes! I am proof of the hex. Now I could just put Light of Promise on him for no reason and win the fucking game. I love how, like, the most powerful 3 cards in my hand, yeah, fuck off. The most powerful 3 cards in my deck, I should say, are colorless. Anybody can run them. That is so inherently bad. And I'm going to spam all the emojis. There we go. Yee. Can we get a yee in the chat? Yee. If you want access to those dank-ass emojis, you can join my membership supporter thing on YouTube. YouTube takes, I think, 10 times more of a take than Patreon, but Patreon's about to die. I'm probably going to move to Subscribestar this week. Not move, I mean, I'll start it and just wait for Patreon to die. But yeah, if you want to sue Patreon because, like, you think the CEO of Patreon is a lizard person controlling your brain, it literally could be that level of bullshit, and they'll still have to go to litigation and pay $2,000. So somebody who wasn't so happy that they got banned off of Patreon for honestly political and moral and social reasons, I don't know how much of an asshole they were, but whatever. They got like 79 of their people to front $200 a piece, and they may have reimbursed them, by the way, to start an arbitration because you're not allowed to sue them or class action or anything. Yeah, this looks promising. Oh man, top 3 favorite games? If I go just PC, because otherwise it'll get crazy with like Phantasy Star 3 and like fucking Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and shit. On just the PC, probably... Oh, should I say by today's standards or at the time? Because nothing is ever going to compete with XL3. Nothing's ever going to beat that game. Like, it's nothing will even come close, even by today's standards. So XL3 is the best game ever made, period. Oh man, I really like Mario Party 2 and 3 though, so, but we're going PC only, so I'll say Age of Empires 1, but not by today's standards, but they also remade it. Boy. Probably CNC Generals. You really can't get any better than that. I think it's a better RTS than StarCraft, not from a fair esports thing, but from like a fun gameplay and like ease of getting into it, ease of getting good. And the graphics are still amazing, you know. And then probably Fallout New Vegas. I think you said top 3, but too bad. Command and Conquer, CNC. I probably said that wrong. Does he really think that's going to stop anything? Because that ain't going to stop anything. I've got Trample because they now gave every single color Trample for 1 mana. The f*** were they thinking? Oh, I get it. It's a Mothra Selfless Savior deck. Okay, well, too bad he doesn't know how it works. Wait. Oh, I was like, how do I not have Trample? I do, but that was first strike. Au revoir! I win with 73. This is disgusting. Here we go. I'm just pulling like nothing. Did anybody notice that? Alright, here we go. Let's go big. Let's go wide. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I actually could afford to move this now. So it's Trample, Lifelink, First Strike, Menace, Hexproof. Good fucking luck. And every color, every deck, every strategy has access to this. And Shadowspear. That's I'm literally winning with those 2 cards. I might as well have just, like, not even picked a color and just played those. I mean, what the f***? They have, like, the #1 problem post-rotation is going to be the power of colorless shit. And we're going to see more colorless cards get banned than you've ever seen in your f***ing life. I guarantee it. And they might have to calm down Mill. And unfortunately, that's one where they can calm it down by 1, 2, 3% and leave it still competitive. So we're going to have to be dealing with that shit for a while, unfortunately. I mean, I kind of want my biggest one to have lifelink, and this already has lifelink, but I'm sick of looking at his face, so, he outs. Well, let me think. This already has Menace First Strike, so I might as well be an enormous asshole and move it, and then this has to die. Because apparently this is a mutate deck. Oh, he saw what I was doing. Yep. This is ridiculous. It's disgusting. So let's take a look at a game from today, and you can tell the Shuffler's just an absolute gem. I think in paper I've ever had a triple opener 3 times ever in 7 years. I think I had it happen twice today. Yeah. So anyway, gonna remove that. Just because I assume he's gonna put it in the graveyard, return it as a 5/5 at some point. Remove that. By the way, he has another one. Oh boy. And there goes the third one. He's probably pissed at this point, but people are used to the Shuffler being a pile of garbage. I mean, you know, people say you need a sample size bigger than your own games. If I bought a Powerball ticket and won it, then bought another one and won it, then bought another one and won it, my sample size of 3 tickets is indicative of something being wrong. And having a triple repeat in your opener, it's so rare that if you see it a small number of times yourself personally, you know something's up. So I gave him his card back because it doesn't come in as a 5/5, no problem. Farrakha's Sacrifice a Card is pretty good, I forgot what it's called. I'm a little surprised he didn't block that and stack the graveyard with it, because the whole point was to get it killed, right, and bring it back. So I assume he didn't have a way to bring it back, which means he's already lost. I mean, pretty much. And we're starting to go wide and go tall at the same time, which is what this deck does. It goes wide. So I got the chump blockers, I got the army, I got the overflow, I've got the potential to turn them all into triggers as throwaway creatures with Heliod by paying 2. And then it's like, then you lose because I'm going tall, and then I have trample on top of it, even though this isn't a green deck. That's why that Spear is pretty bad. I mean, if I had to pick a card that they need to get rid of from here, I'd say Heliod, but the Spear would be a very close second, which ironically killed Heliod. Now, this game is a very representative, average, you know, anybody could win, maybe 50-50, 60-40 kind of matchup here. He's running Dogcat Tribal, and this is what happens in Dogcat Tribal if the card Pack Leader didn't exist, because, spoiler alert, he never draws it all game. It actually turns into a real game. He could have won, I could have won, but I ended up winning because my deck's amazing. But his deck is no joke. I mean, he's got Sovereign there, and he brings out something even worse later. I mean, I could be wrong, could be all cat tribal. Based on the colors, I'm not sure. I don't remember how many colors cats and dogs are. Isn't it like 4 colors or something? I don't know. It depends what you pick, I suppose. I haven't paid that much attention to what other people are playing because I just keep winning with my deck, and I'm happy with my deck. So it is what it is. So we got the Trampler there. He gets another Banishing because, you know, the Shuffler loves Banishing for some reason. It's a fun card. But now we're going wide, and once again, we might go tall at the same time if I can get a Heliod or the Ajani's Primate clone, but that is a repetitive tapper that gives everybody a tap ability, but that is Ajani's Primate. So, and he's already a 3/3, and there's the ETB is a 4/4, and then I'm at 27, I generate an Angel, and then he bumps to 5/5. Even he said nice, because that was crazy. I mean, this deck, when it goes, it goes. I mean, it just goes. And if it doesn't just go like some crazy cascading Triggerathon, you know, nightmare, it goes by like, oh, now it's an 8/8, now it's a 16/16, now it's a 32/32 because I put, you know, the Spear and the Sunbond Jr. on a creature with lifelink. And I'm going to win. So, I mean, these Angels are there, but he keeps, like, tapping them and stuff, and he's still at 20. I mean, now he's at 16. I got Daxos, so now everything that enters the battlefield, or if those 1/1s die right there, then I get a trigger again. So, eventually we're going tall with that, that 8/8 there, the Ajani's Primate. I'm just going to call them their nicknames. Except you might have noticed he put pacification on it. I honestly don't even think, like, without Trample, even how big he is and no Spear out, if I had an Exiler, I probably wouldn't target pacification. I would try to take his stuff out and just go wide, go air. That's a more durable, better strategy. Now we got Heliod, the game's over. I mean, you pull the Heliod, the game's over, the Spear, the game's over, or start generating too many Angels and the game's over, and I've done 2 out of those 3. So, yeah, there he goes. Got rid of him. So yeah, that 1-cost tap removal is nice. At this point, you know, I could have paid more than 1, whatever. He would have still had activated abilities, though, with pacification on him, which is not good. I've heard people running, it's 4 mana, so I mean, really, come on. But Fate's Fetters, because then you gain 4 life and then tap something down, but it's like the worst of all worlds, and you probably don't need the 4. I'd rather have 4 single triggers of gaining 1 life. Now, he's bringing out Kahira, like he ain't playing here. I think this was cats only. I don't think he ever intended to put a dog in there, to be honest. But Cat Tribal is good, too. So, I mean, yeah, I kind of outpaced him, but he could have just tapped me down forever and had me. I was below at least 40 at one point. So that's the deck. I actually, while I was recording this, reformed the deck to just be like blitz, just dumb, let's go, all in. It does what it does on the bottom, no insurance policy, no power on the top. It's just go wide, go big, go tall, let's go. It's just absolute 1-2 drop, yeehaw, cowboy level magic. So that's one deck list, and then the other one is the more, okay, we've got one of these, we got a backup plan, if I pull one of these, cool, and it's not so low heavy, it's still low heavy, you can still blitz them, but, I'm gonna try playing with both. I didn't, like, remake the deck and I'm like, here's the old list, I cloned it, I'm gonna play with both and see how they do. But the other one's a little bit tighter, a little bit more consistent, a little bit faster, but if it runs out of gas and starts doing nothing, you have no tricks other than what's already out. So if it falls apart, you're gonna be in trouble, but it doesn't matter if you win more often in the first 8 turns, you know? So I would recommend, for complexity reasons and for mulligan decisions, running the fast blitz efficient version, unless you really want something that's more Swiss Army and, you know, kind of steady flirting with midrange. I don't have gameplay with it yet, but it would look an awful lot like a lot of these. I mean, almost every one of my live stream, I was just like, hey, look, a 32-32 again. How'd I get that? So anyway, thanks for watching. Have fun running this deck, and I will come up with the mother of all black-white decks that just shreds all 3 of the decks in the meta that anybody's playing, and the only thing it won't really play around is mill, but if there's a white or black card that recycles my library, guess what? Honestly, I don't think even Ruined Halo protects me from, like, mill cards, so I don't know. Yeah, there's no way to play around mill. Every time I've gone across mill, I've lost to it. 100% of the time. That's how effective mono blue mill's level of control is. I cannot stick one stupid creature in a deck that goes wide. Yeah, something needs to be done about that. We're gonna have to deal with mill so long, and people have been complaining about mill for 26 years, so, I'm personally sick of it. This format, while it is better than standard, it is just an absolute discouraging look at how shit things are going to be after rotation. Let alone what they stick in Zendikar Rising. It's just such toxic, unbeatable strategies. I mean, if I can't kill you in combat, how am I going to win? Life gain around you? It's just going to be the same as the shit was in standard about 7 or 8 months ago. Run 12 cards or to 16 cards of removal or lose. Just in any color, any strategy, you have to be running that much control of universal or bare minimum creature removal or you will lose. And that's what it is now due to the level of gods, untouchable creatures, and stuff that just cannot be defeated or killed in any way in combat. So it's a shame the game came to that again, but it is within the realm of fixing. I would say if I had to pick 5 cards that I would ban from this format, the format would be virtually perfect. Perfect. I don't throw around the P word just for fun, willy-nilly here. If they would let me get rid of 5 cards, and I think you already know what most of them are at this point, there would be no outliers in power. You know what? I'll take a card out of my own deck too, for fairness. 6 cards. I already lost Healer's Hawk, but honestly, this deck is a disgrace. It is disgusting, truly. So 6 cards, and the format would be so balanced, you could play anything reasonably okay and have a chance of winning. It would go back to that. So we're like so close, it kind of gives me hope for the future, but then they're going to add a set, add a set, add a set, add a set, then rotate again. So it's if it's this bad already and they haven't even released Zendikar Rising, I don't have a whole lot of hope for the future. But I will say, I will leave this on a positive note, I think that post-rotation, the brawl scene is going to be pretty freaking dank. Not as dank as the dank memes that are posted on my Discord channel. We literally have a sub-channel called Tactical Meme Bunker, in which we store our weapons-grade memes. Don't tell the UN about it. No snitching, my bitches. But still, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty cool because Brawl, I mean, Singleton, you got to put together a whole deck of, I don't remember how many cards are in the format. Is it 59 plus 1? It's been a while. Anyway, but with only like 5 sets legal. It's going to be so low powered, it'll be really fun and really fair, I think. And a lot of the cards that I want gone, you can only run one of and they're not legendary. So they'll be non-existent in Brawl. I am looking forward to that. Also, I posted the first video on my new channel. I'm going to wait till I get to 2 or 3 videos to launch it, just because that's what you should do. But my Discord has seen it because I love those guys. Come to think of it, for anybody who's a member on YouTube, I should probably tell you what it is too. But yeah, I'll be launching it in the near future, and it's looking pretty good so far. So sometime this week, I'm going to launch it, so prepare to make some popcorn and learn about all kinds of cool prepper shit. For the second video, let me just put it out there. I built something truly and sincerely impressive. I've actually never seen anybody build something quite like this. When you see what it does and what it costs, you are going to immediately buy one. And it's like not even sponsored. I'm just like, here's some cheap way to do this with some Chinese crap. And I built a device that will absolutely blow your mind. So anyway, it's going to be pretty exciting. Also, my 8 terabyte is officially cloned. The new one showed up. The old one was failing, so I couldn't complete the video project at all of the Bulletproof S video, but now I can. So that might actually get posted later today. It depends if I have to film the finale or if I just want to kind of BS it. I'm not really happy with any of the footage and the video kind of sucks, but I don't have the time or money to reshoot it, so deal with it. It's going to be the most disappointing 50K ever, unless you just really want to know, for scientific reasons, if 200 foils can stop a bullet. Or no, it was 400. Well, it's a 100 thick, whatever. So watch for that. I mean, definitely hit subscribe and maybe even turn on notifications, especially just for this week, because it is going to be big. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you guys next video.